This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Mins.
The Senate was paused for 25 hours. It was not in service of the blockage of a bill or to tie up the House on some business that the Democrats or the Republicans sought to curtail. Instead, it was the longest speech in the history of the United States, and it was delivered by the senator from New Jersey, Cory Booker. At 56, he self-describes as not in his best shape, considering his history as a college football star. Yet Booker, shaken with rattling knees and a hoarse voice, emerged from the chamber with a smile a mile wide and a demeanor that could only be described as euphoric. He had crossed a threshold that none had accessed before. His laborious correspondence was done in service of attention. And what could be wrong with that? Roger thought. Dayton waited on the steps of the Senate and wanted to capture the senator as he left the Capitol building. He wanted a defiant picture to represent the defiance with which the speech was delivered. He wanted to showcase the senator in a capacity that would not be expected given the enormity of the task he had just completed. But he had no knowledge and no insight into when the senator would emerge from the building or in what state he would appear. Perhaps he had a driver ready and willing to take him home to recoup. God knows he deserved it. Still, Roger waited on a whim. It was worth being there for historical moments, even if they didn't eventuate. Half the job was being there to capture moments when others wouldn't think to do so. Capturing the senator emerging from the Capitol on such a day would be one of those moments. He stood on the stairs with his Pentax around his neck and watched as the tourists and political staffers strolled back and forth, up and down the stone stairs. Security had cottoned on to his presence, and on more than one occasion, a uniformed guard had appeared to question the motives and intentions of the journalist. "I'm here to capture Mr. Booker," Dayton would explain. "He's just given the longest filibuster in history. I want to get his reaction as he emerges from the chamber. I write for Live magazine," he said, holding up a business card for the guard. "I know who you are, Mr. Dayton," the guard replied. And it wasn't a filibuster. It was a speech. He corrected the veteran journalist as he walked back to the office gatehouse with Roger's business card in hand. "Fair enough," Roger acknowledged under his breath. 4 hours had passed, by which time Roger had fed himself a sandwich from the vendor who had positioned himself on the sidewalk and washed it down with a Fanta, a taste of his youth and a sugar hit designed to maintain stamina. He wondered if Senator Booker had been so lucky as to access these mini-hits to sustain his presence, as he was required to stay on his feet for such a long period. Then it happened. At 3 minutes past the hour, the senator, adorned in sweatpants and a hoodie, with a briefcase in one hand and a gym bag in the other, emerged from the Capitol and began to walk down the stone steps out into the free world, where society is practiced based on the laws passed in the rotunda behind. Roger retrieved his camera and began to snap away, click after click with every step the senator made. The senator was caught off guard, and Roger could see his shaky knees buckle under the pressure to perform for the camera that had emerged unsuspectingly. "Senator, I'm sorry. Roger Dayton from Live magazine," Roger explained. Senator Booker held out a hand, his face still adorned with a euphoria that was foreign to most. "I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting the press," Booker said. "Please don't apologize. What you did was momentous," Dayton replied. "I wanted to get the heroic shot of you emerging from the building after just making United States political history." Booker smiled and nodded. "Did you get what you were after?" "I'm just heading home now," he said, motioning to the road ahead. "I did, Senator. I just have to know why." "There was no bill to stop, no pressing need to address instantly. Why do this?" Dayton asked. It was in good faith, fueled by a desire to genuinely understand the inner workings of the senator and the need to put one's body on the line. For what purpose? Who would be there to hear and take in the speech in its entirety? Hardly anyone, Dayton suspected. "No one will read it in its entirety," Roger continued. "It'll get you a headline and then fade like a memory wipe, or the passage of time." Roger hoped for a minor provocation or a statement of defense, anything that would assist in the publication of the photos he had amassed for the next issue. "I don't know," Booker replied. He looked out onto the horizon as the sun began to set on the Capitol. Cars passed in either direction, and people walked about their business, going to and from their locations of choice. Something feels different lately. I feel like all I receive are letters from constituents that are so helpless. You can literally feel the tears that have spilled on the paper as they wrote to me. Then there's the emails that tell me stories of proud public servants who have been systematically fired. We have a country about to impose tariffs on friendly trading partners, people shipped off to overseas prisons without due process. A leader who cares about one thing and one thing only: attention. I thought, what can I do that would hurt him? What can I take away from him? The senator drew breath as he continued his meditation on the citizenry below. I know you say no one will remember what I've said, but I broke the record tonight, and maybe they will remember the way I said it. I took something away from the president that only he would understand, he explained. What was that? I took attention away from him. Maybe that's enough for today. Would you do it again? I would. The senator walked away, ending the conversation of his own accord. He proceeded down the stairs toward the society he had sworn to protect, uphold, and act on in good faith.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.